You're welcome back to the news at 10, coming to you live from Abuja. One day after members of the Islamic movement of Nigeria took to the streets of Abuja to mark the 68th birthday of their leader, Sheikh Zakzaky, and call for his release, members of the sect stormed the National Assembly today to press home their demands. The Shiites had a confrontation with security operatives at the entrance of the assembly and forced their way through the first gate of the complex. The news of their forceful entrance, however, led to a moment of concern among lawmakers in the House of Representatives. Our correspondent Larry Lasisi has this report.
Matter, if it passes, is still going to committee. And so
lawmakers in the House of Representatives considering some proposed legislations and other parliamentary documents. One of such legislation, an executive bill, seeks to amend the Deep Offshore and Inland Basin Production Sharing Contracts Act, 1999.
It will do us good if this bill is amended, and it will block oil leakages, revenue leakages that we are being faced with.
The bill scales second reading.
The ayes have it.
Meanwhile, at the entrance of the National Assembly complex, a group gathered with different banners. According to their spokesman, they want the election of the leadership of the 9th Assembly to be conducted through open ballot system.
And we are saying all over the world, the convention in parliament all over the world is open voting. So we are here to advocate for open voting, for the election of principal officers in the 9th National Assembly.
The next group that gathers, members of the Islamic movement of Nigeria, have a confrontation with security officials at the gate. They're here to protest the continued detention of their leader, Ibrahim Zakzaky. They eventually stopped before they get into the complex. They're said to have submitted a copy of their demands to officials of the National Assembly before dispersing. But inside the House of Representatives, news of the forced entrance by the sect filters to the presiding officer.
And I don't know whether they have enough security within the premises. Let's, Sergeant Atam, take the next 5 minutes, go and check outside what is going on. So while they are trying to check, let's quickly get done with this one.
They continue plenary until more information is received.
Thank God we have been duly informed that we are protected.
The lawmakers then continue with their work until they conclude the items on the other paper and adjourn proceedings. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
The corrupt behaviors of some persons involved in the implementation of the national social investment programs may hamper the successful execution of the scheme. This is according to Action Aid Nigeria, which is advocating a better standard of living for the vulnerable in the country, especially women and girls. Speaking at the launch of the third-party monitoring report of the national social investment programs, the country director of Action Aid, Ms. Enobi, said that the program will be more effective if the beneficiaries are given their support directly.
Please permit me to mention two key challenges that we had during this process. One is the issue of transparency and accountability. The quality of citizenry is bedeviled by corruption. And that is one of the biggest challenges that we have. What this means is that the success of the program lies with the conduct of citizens who are directly or indirectly involved in the implementation processes. In the homegrown school feeding, for example, there are so many middlemen and women. Before the money gets to the cooks, there are so many people who are doing supplying. You can imagine you want somebody to cook for you. Somebody else has to supply egg. Somebody supplies meat. Somebody supplies rice. The women who are cooking at the community levels can buy rice. They can buy the eggs. My advice is that we remove every middle person and let the cooks get the money. The intention of the homegrown school feeding is that When money is given, it will jumpstart the economy of the environment. The farmers there, the local farmers, you buy the vegetables from them, you buy the things that they're doing from them. It's supposed to grow the local economy. But what we are having is, the process is being truncated by a central pool in terms of supplies.
And that's all from Abuja. And here's Anne for business news.
You first. First Bank.
Thank you, Linda. We begin business news tonight with the Director of Trade at the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Gbenga Obideyi, calling on Nigeria and the government of Benin Republic to speed up the process of signing the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, which he describes as critical to the socio-economic development of its country. At a meeting in the nation's capital, Abuja, he explains that the merits of the agreement far outweighs its demerits, following its potential of generating an integrated African market with a gross domestic product of between $2.5 trillion to $3.4 trillion.
For the ECOWAS region, 13 out of our member states have so far signed the AFCFTA agreement, and 9 out of 22 ratifications so far of our member states have also ratified the agreement. We are having just the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Republic of Benin yet to sign out of our 15 member states. And their reasons are for very good reasons. We have urged our member states yet to sign and ratify to do so to ensure the preservation of the ECOWAS acquis and that the AFCFTA is coherent with regional advancements made so far.
The Senate has confirmed the appointment of Mrs. Omolola Edewor as Executive Director, Corporate Services of the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation. Mrs. Edewor, who is currently occupying the same position, will be in charge of the administrative running of that organization. The Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions had on April the 18th screened the nominee and promised to refer the report to the Senate in plenary. With this confirmation, Mrs. Edewor will be serving her second and final term of 5 years as Executive Director. Skyway Aviation Handling Company, SACO, has listed over 1.35 billion ordinary units of its shares on the Nigerian Stock Exchange following the conclusion of its initial public offering. The listing has also added 6.2 billion naira to the equities capitalization of the NSE, as SACO's management promises returns on investment to its shareholders.
The price of 4.65 naira and be traded.
Some 1.35 billion ordinary shares of SACO Nigeria being listed at 4.65 naira on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. This is coming about 6 months after the first offering to the broker-dealer community. The closing gong right is followed with a market briefing where the exchange confirms the listing as adding some 6.29 billion naira to the equity capitalization of the NSE.
Your listing on the NSE today will not only showcase the company as an established player in the aviation sector, but will enable the company to actualize its strategic vision of becoming the leading provider of passenger ramp and cargo handling services in West Africa.
SACO's listing is in compliance with the share sales purchase agreement reached with government in 2009, a development expected to create a long-term shareholder value.
We have planned to expand outside Nigeria. We are also increasing our customer lifeline value, and we also know that to make it to the next level, we also have to begin to look at our cost management within the organization, which is that thing that we are looking at.
SACO is only one of 4 state-owned assets planned for listing on the NSE. The Bureau of Public Enterprise here hints that the 3 others are underway.
We're still working very closely with the group, to prepare the other 3 for listing. We believe that before September, one of the other companies should be ready to come to the market, and then the other 2 before the end of the year.
With SACCO now on the main board of the NSE, the exchange now has a total of 163 listed companies for trading.
And talking about the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the benchmark index has fallen back again to the 29,000 level as more sell pressure continues to hit major components of the oil and gas, the consumer and industrial goods sectors of the market. Let's get more from Edewor.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Midweek trading at the Nigerian equities market witnessed massive sell-offs across the oil and gas and consumer goods counters at the close of trade today. Now looking at the sectoral chart, we see both indices shedding 3.61% and 1.10% each. Now those were not the only sectors which recorded losses, as industrial goods was also down 0.70%. The gains from the banking and insurance counters didn't have much impact, as the all-share index closed the day in the red, down 0.59%, with the headline index falling back into the 29,000 level. Now, volume and value of deals traded today were lower compared to Tuesday's session, as 304.86 million shares valued at 2.6 billion naira changed hands in over 3,900 deals. Japan Oil maintained its position as the most actively traded stock for the day. Now, that's a summary of midweek trading activities. I'm Edewor. Back to you, Anne.
Thank you, Edewor. Disappointing earnings report from industrial and auto giants have taken their toll on major global stock markets' performance today, especially in the United States, and that's after the record high close recorded overnight on Wall Street. Here are some of those figures for today. That's it on this midweek edition of Business News. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwaldo.
You first. First Bank.
Brilliant. Many thanks indeed, Anne. Still ahead on the news at 10. And coming next from London is Around the World in 5 minutes. Stay with us.
New Bailey's Delight is a blend of cream liquor with a taste of African honey. Begin the end of the day with Bailey's Delight.
Are you a businessman or a businesswoman? Do you need a loan to grow your business? Think RentMoney.com.
To borrow up to 4 million naira in 24 hours, visit RentMoney.com or call 0700 5000 500.
Oh, and if you have a job, you can get a loan too.
Need money? Think RentMoney.